Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there. What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. Here is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. This is a half-hour chat show where Mr. Newly Dad and I discuss a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time watching, welcome back. We are appreciative of you joining us. If you're listening to this, sometimes I upload it to Spotify and you'll be able to hear it. But this is a visual show, so I highly recommend that you check us out. And the way that you can find us is if you go to our website, which is thenewlydads.com. On that site, you can find all of our information about the show, where you can watch it, as well as other things that we do. So Mr. Newly Dad does unboxing videos that he uploads every week, along with Sinister Snack videos and Dollar Store Drive-In Classics. And you also do uploads for our blog. So he does blog posts. You can find that information there as well. And also events that we're attending. So we are very, very quickly heading towards, which this might even air maybe the week of.
possibly, yeah.
So this weekend, if you're watching it, it's going to be on October 4th. It is at the, it's called the Witches Market. It's at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Belvidere, Illinois. That is really close to Rockford where we're at. And it is put on by Wolf Hollow. So you can come and check it out. There's over 150 vendors. Along with, food vendors. There's going to be artists, makers. If you're into tarot, they've got tarot card readings, and we'll be there selling our goods. I've made a lot of weird little things this year, so hopefully you guys enjoy it if you do come and see it. But yeah, you can find that information again on our website. So all the information, and he's probably going to pop up the information about the event as well. It's from 2 to 8 on October 4th. So come see us and say hello. We would appreciate it. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about a movie that we've watched. And we've got some criteria for the movies that we do watch, because we like to make sure that we keep our shows all on the same kind of wavelength. So the criteria that we have for the show is that the movies that we watch need to be under $5. They need to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie, and it needs to be a movie that him and I have never seen before. So yeah, this week we watched, this was one of those ones that were from the Peck thing, wasn't it?
That was from the Peck thing, yeah, but then we ended up getting another copy
Right.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I just didn't even realize it, but we've been waiting to watch this movie since
Yeah.
our 100th
A long
episode.
time ago.
So
we get our movies in several different ways. So sometimes we get them at thrift stores. Sometimes we get them at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes we get them gifted to us. And we a lot of times, most of the time, we purchase them. The Peck thing is actually going to be this actual weekend. So
it's already passed by.
Yeah, when you're watching this, it's going to be behind. But it's this weekend. The Peck thing is a large event that happens in Winnebago County at the fairgrounds, where there are just, I don't even know how many vendors there. There's too many to count. But they've got a lot of thrift store kind of things. Think kind of like swap meet, sort of. Yeah.
Antique flea market.
Antique flea market. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
New stuff, old stuff.
They have food vendors, and then they've got, people who are like doing their stuff outside. So since it's fall, they'll probably have some people selling some plants like mums and different fall related sorts of wares. We like to go to the one in the fall for sure, because we are spooky people, and they a lot of times will have Halloween or fall related decor and different things like that, artists and whatnot. But we got this last year or the year before, something like that, at the Peck thing. So I'm sure you'll put that information up too.
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
This is from an 8 or 9 box
It's a weird collection.
creature feature. This is like a creature collection. The movie that we watched this week is Chupacabra. That's right. Versus the Alamo.
And that's exactly what it was.
It for sure is. I'm not going to say who is starring in it because Mr. Newly Dead is going to do that. You know what? I'm going to read the synopsis on this one because it's longer.
Okay. Oh boy.
So I'm going to read the synopsis, and then once we are done with that, then we will watch the trailer, and then we'll talk about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Chupacabra versus the Alamo. Something strange is happening in San Antonio. Members of a rival drug cartels are turning up dead with every drop of blood siphoned from their bodies. But as DEA agent Carlos Seguin, is that right? Seguin? Investigates, he discovers that murder suspect isn't human, that the murder suspect isn't human. In fact, it might not even be real. Now he must prepare for the true last stand at the Alamo against a rampaging pack of blood-sucking chupacabras. Yeah. Just to let you know how like short the other synopsis was, it's literally just when murder victims are discovered with every drop of blood siphoned from their bodies, the actor must take on a deadly pack of chupacabras loose in the Texas desert. I really like the longer version.
I mean,
it gave you a little bit of acting, stuff.
Sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, if you guys are excited for that, we're going to watch the trailer so that way you can see all of the glory of Chupacabra versus the Alamo. And then once we do that, we will be back. So I'm going to pause it just for a moment. You ready for that? Oh, yeah, the trailer. Let's just make it a motorcycle. Yeah. You'll see why if it's in the trailer. I'm sure
idea.
It probably is.
Future me, editor. Think about the movie and motorcycles, and you'll know exactly what to do.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what he's talking about here in just a second. So let's go ahead and pause it.
It's home to one of the most famous battles in history. But it's never seen an attack like this.
We got chupacabras all up in here!
The chupacabra drinks blood.
5 men are dead, and you're talking about an urban legend?
This is not how you remember.
Here they come!
The Alamo.
That's what I'm talking about.
Eric Estrada.
Chupa this!
Chupacabra vs. the Alamo, a sci-fi original movie. Premiere Saturday, March 23rd at 9, only on Sci-Fi, part of the most dangerous night on television.
And we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed that lovely trailer that Mr. Newly Dead has prepared for you. That's one of the reasons why we also say that we highly recommend that you watch it, because he does a lot of editing. So you'll hear a lot of noises and sound effects and things like that during that portion of the podcast. So come to our website, find us, and watch it.
See why
And
you
see
heard
why.
those noises.
Yep. But we've got some notes, and Mr. Newly Dead has a lot of information for you. So I'm going to stop talking and pass it over to you.
So during the film, I will take notes digitally and then print them out on this little sheet of paper here to give us a little guidance, a little bit of context, a little bit of fun. I also will draw pictures occasionally and write little things in the margins. And then at the end of the year, Mr. Newly Dead will collect all of those. You can go to our aforementioned website and you can check out 2023 and 2024, which are both available on the site in a flipbook format. You can flip through, see what's there. I've been told it's kind of fun to go through. I don't know. I wrote them, so I think it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. And then Mrs. Newly Dead is committed to do the same this year. And so far, she has done it every single week.
So far, so good.
Now, as to whether you see those, remains to be seen. Probably not, but we'll
Probably
see.
not.
So at this point, I'll show her what's on my notes here and try and hide things that she doesn't need to know about yet. So
He drew, I'm guessing, a chupacabra.
yeah.
Little doggy looking guy. Little sad face with bones. Hi.
And that's
Say
some
hi to
notes.
your mother for me.
Some notes to discuss.
Grenades. And
All right.
that's it.
You have to read all that.
Okay.
for me,
Yeah. I just always like, the little fun things. I did, just a little bit of this because, I'm doing a different format where it's like in the little
Right, you got
squares.
little tiny
And
boxes
then
to
I
work
drew
out.
a chupacabra.
Look at that guy. He's got a big nose.
And then I drew a little, another chupacabra. This is Diablo. Because that's what that one guy called it. And that's it. I kind of drew a grenade blowing up some chupacabras.
Which happened a couple times.
Yeah.
So Chupacabra versus the Alamo was from 2013, and we've been waiting to see it since then. No, that's not true. It's currently sitting at 3.1 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, which is either shockingly good or shockingly bad. I'm not sure. We'll get to that. But this is directed by Terry Ingram, who is known for Ice Road Terror, which, if I remember correctly in the poster, there's a dinosaur and Ice Road Trucker. So they blended some things together.
Interesting.
3 Wise Men and a Baby, part 1 and 2. Yeah, there was a sequel to 3 Wise Men and a Baby.
Okay. Like a Jesus thing?
I don't know. And something called Phantom Racer, which sounds like an interesting film. And so many Christmas movies. I started to think if I was going to write some of them down, but there was just so many of them. It's a thing you'll find with movies that are made for TV like this. Usually the directors have a large history of similar films to these or Christmas films. Because somebody's got to make the Hallmark stuff.
Somebody does.
Somebody. And apparently Terry Ingram is one of those somebodies. So this is written by 2 folks. Peter Sullivan, who has 133 writing credits, including Jersey Shore Shark Attack, which needs to get on our list somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Mountain, which is not about a mountain that kills. It is about something on the mountain that is killing. And then a whole bunch of Christmas, mystery, crime, and AMC Hallmark type Oxygen films, like just littered in the 133 credits. I'd say 100 of them are probably all those types of things. Then we've got Jeremy Schneck, Schene or NCK, Schenek, who's got 103 writing credits, who wrote something called Home, Not Alone. Get it? I think that one might take place on Christmas. Snow White, A Deadly Summer, which we'll probably watch at some point. Something called Super Shark, which we absolutely have to watch. And then again, a bunch of the same kind of stuff that Peter Sullivan wrote, just littered everywhere. So as she mentioned, there was a certain celebrity that was in this film that we've been waiting to talk about. So this stars one Eric Estrada, who you may know from Alien Seed. Probably not. Cool Cat Kid Superhero, which if you are a fan of, what's the guy that my kid likes to watch that does all the bad movies and cartoons and stuff? We just talked about him the other day. Oh, I forgot his name all of a sudden. Anyway, there's a guy that does this kind of stuff, but it was a low budget, like kids animated thing that this guy did, trying to, do something nice for, kids that was educational, and it just turned into a big kind of
I know what you're talking about.
joke. Yeah, we'll think of it eventually. Loaded Weapon 1, the Lethal Weapon spoof. Then he was also in, you may remember a little show called Chips, if you're a certain aged person, about the California Highway Patrol motorcycle cops.
Wasn't the Gaining Beaver guy, was it?
No, but you're close.
Mm-hmm.
You're very close. Then he was in the Chips 99, I don't know what you're going to call it. It was more of a sequel because both of the original members of Chips, Eric Estrada and the other guy that I forgot his name, are in the one with Dax Shepard and Michael Pena, which actually was pretty fun, honestly. And I said Chips 99. That actually, there was a reboot of the show called Chips 99. It was on TV. Then there was Chips, the remake of the show into a comedy movie, which again was fun. Gosh, it's going to bug me what his name was. Anyway, this also stars Julia Benton, who is in something called What an Idiot. Drink, Slay, Love, which seems like something we should watch. Seasoned with Love, which I thought, it's a love thing, so why not? Kid Cannabis, which I think sounds like a 90s rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And something called Mr. Troop Mom. Is that like Troop Beverly Hills, but the dad years?
Maybe.
I don't know. Then it also stars Jorge Vargas, who was in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. He was the son, by the way, the spider. Dino Thunder, which is another Power Rangers show, So he was in 2 different Power Ranger shows. Bang Bang, You're Dead, not to be confused with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And Battle of the Bulbs, which I believe is a movie about either Christmas or flowers.
Was it Jay something?
What?
The guy?
No, he's got like a non-name name. You know, it's not like Jim or Jay or John or
We'll figure it out.
It's
He'll probably pop
something.
it up
Yeah, I'll
somewhere.
put it in here. And then finally, Chad Krochuk, who has actually got some real credits here. Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder Superman movie. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, the sequel or prequel, as it were. Stan Helsing, which we did on the show.
Yeah.
We did. There is an episode about Stan Helsing that's in our catalog. You can find it somewhere. Poker Night, which I can't decide if I've actually seen it or not, but it's got like, I think Clancy Brown's in it maybe. I want to say Sid Haig or Bill Moseley. It's just got a weird cast, and it's on the list, but I just can't remember if I've seen it or not. And then something called Rememory, which I've seen the poster for 100 times, but I've never seen it. So, thought maybe I had his name there for a second.
I could see like your wheels were turning.
Anyway, at this point, Miss Newland turns to me and she says,
What'd you think?
let's get into it.
All right.
It's going to bug me what his name is.
You know.
Darn it. Anyway, so the first thing I had to say about this, and I think I said it to myself, I don't think I said it out loud, was that I'm like, he's still Eric Estrada. Like, I watched Chips as a kid just because there was nothing else on back in the day. There was 4 channels, and there was 3 primary channels on the UHF, which had 2 or 3 different, like Channel 41 and Channel 62 and Channel 19, which was PBS. And so, you know, you'd run a Chips into rerun, so you'd watch it. And he was just so very Estrada. He had the nickname, he was a DEA agent, and his nickname was the Jaguar.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Right.
He rode a motorcycle just like he did on Chips, which is the weirdest thing because he clearly knows how to ride a motorcycle. And on the show, he rode it all the time. I mean, I'm sure they had stunt guys for the, you know, the crazy stuff, but just the regular, like, driving around stuff. Him and the other guy were riding motorcycles. But for some reason, and I'm guessing it had to do with the fact that they couldn't get permits to do locations, or
Or maybe they didn't have the right camera for it. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe they didn't have a rig that they could
Yep.
hook up to it.
That's what I think.
They CGI'd him riding that motorcycle all around the town, like
Everywhere.
all over the place.
Bad.
Like, I think the only time that they didn't was when he was pulling up to something, or there was a scene where he jumped over a construction site because he needed to get home really fast. And I think that the stunt guy was actually shown jumping. It wasn't CGI.
Yeah.
But I think that was about it. Everything else was pretty much CGI'd.
It was really bad.
There was a lot of CGI in this film.
Every single one of the chupacabras were CGI.
The only time I think that they didn't have a CGI chupacabra was when, towards the end of the movie, Spider attaches one of his thousands of plastic explosives to a chupacabra that's been shot, and it's a close-up of it, and there's actual fur. So, and I don't think chupacabras have fur, at least in the movie. They look like they're
Most of them were like nakedy looking, they almost look like a skinny hyena,
like a mole rat,
like
a Sphinx cat sort of thing, you know, think
sharp
hairless.
teeth. Yeah.
And so it was a little weird, but I guess they were trying to show that he was attaching it to the creature, and they just couldn't afford it. So they just had a dog lay down, and I don't know, they had a bearskin rug, who knows. But it wasn't an asylum movie, which we thought for sure it was way back when we first heard about it. But the acting was still beyond terrible. The CGI was suspect at best. The storyline was pretty much followed every single asylum film that you've seen in the last 20 years. It was very much in line with all of that. There was 2 different references to the Alamo outside of the actual Alamo. His motorcycle said the Alamo on it. I don't remember if it said remember the Alamo or just that the motorcycle was called the Alamo. But they also referenced that his like great-great-grandfather was one of the people at the Alamo.
Yeah.
Although his son said they were outside the Alamo and they weren't part of the group inside the Alamo.
Right.
So
yeah,
the Chupacabra versus the Alamo has multiple meanings in this film because they do end up with their final stand at the Alamo, kind of.
Yeah.
Laura had a very good time with the mortician. Do you want to explain why?
Because he's all bloody.
Yeah.
Like, he was just so, like, fast. I don't even think he was a mortician. I think he was, because he was, like, dissecting the the animal or whatever.
Oh,
He
we'll
wasn't
see, like
looking at the. He wasn't looking at a person. He was like looking at the. They had shot one of the chupacabra, and it seemed like to me, like in the beginning, everybody was just getting murdered by all these chupacabras all
Left
over the
and right.
place, left and right, and really funny too. Like one time they were like they were at a like a kegger, like these college students were just kind of out in the woods doing their thing, and oh my gosh, the chupacabras are coming, and you could see in the background like they were like just attacking random like people, and then they showed this kid and he's walking, and there was like it looked like a football field or something where they were at, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were.
There was like
on
a
the football field.
goalpost, and like this chupacabra comes up and just grabs this guy's leg, and they both just go flying in the air. Like it didn't jump, it just bit him, and they went.
Which the guy was, your average 6'2" football player looking dude, kind of, maybe the quarterback versus the kicker or the lineman. But and the chupacabras were probably like 50 pounds at best, with the biggest
smaller
ones.
than our dog. That's for sure. They were little, and some of them were teeny tiny.
They had like baby ones.
Yeah, she like put it in a microwave and blew it up gremlin style.
Yeah, and every time they shot one or they stabbed one or they kicked one or whatever, they inserted dog noises, and it was kind of disconcerting a
like
little
it was
bit.
killing a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
Well, and it seemed like, in the beginning, like I
part.
said, everybody's dying from them. I mean, like these dudes with guns, like drug runners, and then there was like cops and all sorts of people just murder, like getting killed by all these chupacabras. And then Eric Estrada, strolls up and he's like, don't flash your light into the dark when you don't know what's down there. And then he's just like, phew. And then, so they take this body of a chupacabra that they shot and they give it to, like, I'm guessing he was a weird forensic guy or she said she had dated him at some point. She's the other DEA agent.
And he was a jerk, but he had like big blood smeared.
Like he went.
Like on his jacket, just like smeared it like handprints. Like
it was just his handprints. Like he was like messing around with the chupacabra and then went like, boom, like.
It looked like a bad, like something from Reanimator. Not that Reanimator's bad, but like, like just where they're covered in blood in almost a comical way.
Yeah.
But it was used for effect. But in this case, they were trying to show that he was a little bit left of center, and he was a real jerk. And so he determines that these creatures, which incidentally, whenever they said chupacabra, everybody kind of stopped for a second and was like, and it was like, oh yeah, right, chupacabras, sure, that's a thing. That they were infected with some form of rabies, and they determined that they were crossing through a tunnel from Mexico to America, and that's how they were coming over the border.
By way of the Alamo.
By way of the Alamo, and there wasn't like one or two. Like in the beginning, you're like, oh, there's like just a few, or like a pack of them. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands.
Yeah. They just kept showing up more and more, and they're just like blowing them up with grenades, and like there's more, and then there's more, and like, okay, even so much so that there's this one part where his daughter was with the kid that got like bit and like thrown in the air, and so she gets away. Well, these chupacabras are so smart that it followed her home, opened up a door with its mouth,
literally, like
the door handle, and then came in and like, just kept going through every single door. Like, opened it. Another one like smashed its face through like a window to like get to a bunch of people. They're just ruthless.
One of them was doing her taxes. It was weird. They were almost magical in a way, and there's just so many of them that's like they're breeding like rabbits, or there was that many that were in Mexico that nobody ever noticed before? ? There's a really classic bit where he goes back to the house and he's trying to save his kid and her friend, and he's got his trademark shotgun, because he's always got a shotgun throughout the entire film, and he puts the shotgun in the mouth of one of the chupacabras and he goes, "Chupa this," and then he shoots it, and I'm like, that is some high quality writing right there.
Yeah.
And he's always got his lower jaw, by the way. That's why I was making that face. I think at some point, or did we call them chupacabras, or did they call them chupacabras?
I don't remember.
So yeah, there's so many, and they're just are so powerful, yet they're so not powerful that we're calling them chupacabras.
Oh yeah, I'm calling them chupa chups.
They had really strange music. The guy who wrote the music basically had a Casio keyboard in a dream. And more power to him. The person scored a film, but
it didn't match up with the scenes.
None of
Oh.
it made sense. They
I even wrote Chupa Chups.
Oh, they also had this scene where they eventually end up at, incidentally, the chupacabras start to attack everybody in this small town, or big town. Actually, it was a city. And so the main characters end up at the Alamo, and they're like, hey, let's corner them all, and then we'll blow up the Alamo, and that's how we'll get rid of them. They're like, we got to get out. How do we get out? And the guy that they keep calling Crockett, who had a David Crockett thing that was a tour guide, he's like, they said there was a tunnel underneath the Alamo that could potentially get us out, but nobody's seen it since 1976 was the last time they were looking for it. Nobody could find it. And we're like, oh, it's the basement of the Alamo, you know. Anyway,
Okay.
the
If
guy's
you know,
like,
you know.
he's looking at a map and looking at another thing that Eric Estrada had. And he's like, well, let me go take a look. Maybe I can track it down and get us out of here. So he goes down, he looks in like 3 doors, and the 4th door is the room where the water heater is for the place, which incidentally, the Alamo apparently has one small water heater for a house. He walks in, he looks to the left, and there's a boarded up section of the Alamo in the basement where the water heater is. And he pulls off one of the boards and he's like, oh, I found it. So apparently no one else has thought to look behind these obviously old boarded up wall next to the water heater. I guess they don't service the water heater. And so they found the tunnel.
Yeah.
That nobody else could find since 1976, which is weird. There's a lot of explosions. They don't ever explain how the timers work because he's got Spider, his kid, is this bad guy, but he's trying to
With
be
his
good.
toolbox full of guns.
He's got a giant toolbox full of guns, and he's got a bag that must have weighed at least 100 to 200 pounds because he had a minimum of 50 to 100 plastic explosives. Each one of them had a detonator on it that looked like a Nokia phone. And he was putting them up everywhere in the Alamo. And when they finally started to go off, it was like just little explosions, not nothing big enough to kill 100 chupacabras until they're outside of it. And then everything kind of blows up. And when they get outside, it's the next day and they're looking around and everybody's dead. There's cops that are dead. There's regular people that are dead. There's kids. Everybody's dead in this giant city. And so they're like, well, what are we going to do? So they've, got to obviously fight to stop the chupacabras, which, spoiler alert, they do eventually. And then they cut to the next day and everything's back to normal. Like cars are driving, everybody's just cruising around like nothing ever happened. It was so weird.
It's real. That's real life.
That's exactly how it happened. And the only thing that was a remnant of everything that happened was at the last scene, you could still see the Alamo on fire in the background, and that was it. That was the last thing.
Silly.
And we were making some sort of comments about, because one of the guys was talking, and it sounded like Mark Wahlberg in the Mark Wahlberg Talks to Animals bit. So we were impersonating him the whole time, like, say hi to your mother for me, to the chupacabras.
Yeah.
It was funny at the time.
It was funny. It's still funny.
And also, we came up with a concept for a chalupacabra, which is maybe if we ever had like a themed restaurant, like a cryptid themed restaurant or something, we'd sell chalupacabras. Trademark, can't take it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Coming after you.
that's right. We're gonna send Shaggy after you, and he's gonna
He looks
let
like
you
a
pet him.
chupacabra.
A fuzzy one.
He'll lick you to death.
Yeah,
All right. So do you have any final thoughts?
I do.
I do too.
So my final thoughts are: why was Eric Estrada so popular? The world may never know.
I said amazing, horrible, cheesy, hilarious, Eric Estrada, CGI, best movie ever?
It was something. I gotta say, towards
You
the end,
should
it got
see
a
it.
little slow, but it was everything we wanted. Finally, we kept saying, this is going to be a good one, and it's never a good one. And this one, I think it finally can say it's worth your time. So,
So out of 5 motorcycles,
yeah,
what would you give it?
that was a pretty much a no-brainer. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
Me too.
Oh,
Like exactly 2.5.
weird.
Wow. We usually are a little off, but yeah.
A little askew, but I guess
2.5.
we felt the same way. Like it
All
wasn't
right.
something that was the greatest thing ever, but it was,
But yeah,
it was mighty fun.
2.5 for us is good.
It is good, especially for a movie like this.
Yeah, it is definitely cheesy though. And if you like weird CGI, then please check it out. All right. So if they don't want to watch this, what do you recommend?
So I was trying to think of something that was similar to me in tone. And I realized that I'd already recommended the one I wanted to recommend. So I went with the second choice, which was Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no. Which has nothing to do with Chupacabras or the Alamo or anything. But the people that are in it, the CGI, some of the themes of the film are very similar. There's some guest stars in it that are... And there's an opening sequence in the White House with... I forgot his name all of a sudden. Wow, I'm doing really great today. He's the guy... Oh, Mark Cuban. With Mark Cuban and Ian Ziering. And Ian Ziering's being given like a Purple Heart. And
He's
the
one of the
Sharknadoes happen. And him and Mark Cuban are fighting them. And there's a scene where Ian Ziering slides across the floor on his knees with two M16s, shooting sharks out of the sky that are attacking the White House. And chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It was...
I knew you'd like that.
Yeah, I was going to recommend Lavalantula, but I already recommended that one. So,
All right. Well, what are we watching next week?
Steve Guttenberg, baby. Anyway, this is a pretty new movie. It's one of the newest movies we've watched so far, to be honest. So,
The Cursed.
now that says on there 2022, but I found out it was actually 2021.
Okay.
So.
Beware the Beast Within. Says a creepy and bone-crunching horror gem from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Yeah, we might actually enjoy this one. I'm going to just say that right now based on the notes I took.
Huh.
Just saying, because one of the people that in it I'm a fan of.
It looks to me like... Yeah, I have some thoughts here.
Yeah, you don't want to... That one image kind of gives away what it might be about.
Yeah. A brutal take on a classic horror monster, which is also another...
Gives away
key.
with the picture, yeah.
A once peaceful, remote country village is under attack, but by who or what, no one knows. Villagers spread rumors of a cursed land, supernatural forces, and even demonic creatures. As the disappearances and killings continue, pathologist John McBride arrives to investigate the danger, only to discover something much deeper and more sinister than he ever could have imagined. There looks like some... Are there some people in this?
There's a couple of names, yeah. Nobody like that's super duper huge. One of them is very popular right now because of a certain TV show they're on. But I've been a fan since, I don't know, long before this movie came out.
All right. It's rated R. That's always a plus.
And it's, like I said, it was a brand new in the container when we bought it. Like it was still wrapped. And so it's a brand new movie. I just am drawn a blank as to where we got it right now. So I'll have to, I'll figure it out before next week maybe. But right now I couldn't tell you. Sorry, guys.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. All right. That's the end of our show. So thank you very much for watching. We appreciate you always joining us. And until next week,
keep it cheap and creepy.
Doesn't mean you should go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.